What's been the reaction like from fans, at the Garden, coming in and out of the building, out in public the few times you've had a chance to have some free time, for a fan base that's been so starved for a winner, and now to finally kind of have this star that's fallen into their lap and have the team start to show some success?
I think it's it's a lot of fun because the Garden has positive energy, and when they have positive energy, when the fans come and they come out in full force, we feed off that, and we're just a different team at home right now, and we love playing there, and at the same time we have to keep things in perspective. We're still 15-15. We're barely in the playoffs. We're barely 500, and we have a long way to go, and so we just got to keep focused and continue to grind this thing out.
There's been stories that we've heard the last couple of days of people who weren't Knick fans 2 weeks ago, weren't even basketball fans a couple of weeks back. Now suddenly they can't wait for the next Knicks game, get in front of the TV and watch you play. How does that make you feel? I have to imagine that that's wild to have that kind of impact on people who aren't really sports fans, that just kind of relate to your story.
Yeah, I think I'm humbled because I was that same kid watching other people play basketball, Michael Jordan or whoever it might be, and even though he wasn't Asian American, I still remember just counting down the time until the game started. And I just hope that my story can help other people and inspire other people to make their own story. And anything I can do to help, I'd love to. And I'm just thankful to all the fans and everybody who support us and our team.
Take me back to Super Bowl weekend. There are rumors that you could be a couple of days away from being cut. You really hadn't been given a chance. Coach D'Antoni obviously was still looking for the right chemistry with the team struggling. The Boston game was the first game in which you were put in early with a chance to see what you could do. Not a garbage time situation. But what was your mindset at that point?
I was just going to try to give my best effort, play as hard as I could. I mean, I had been training during the off season. I felt like I did everything I could to put myself in the best possible position to succeed, and from there, just play as hard as I can and be okay with where everything ends up, and I'm glad it ended up the way it did.
We know that after the Boston game, you were a little disappointed with how you played. It was your first shot. So that night, you spent the night at Landry's, close to the facility. You wanted to get to the facility early the next morning. Did you have any idea that was the day of the Nets game where, of course, everything changed and this incredible story started for you? Did you have any inkling that Coach was going to give you another shot in that New Jersey game and that this was around the corner?
I figured he would give me another shot because it was a back-to-back-to-back. And that's, if it wasn't a back-to-back-to-back, I probably wouldn't have played. But, that's the way it worked, and so I figured I'll probably get another chance. I was hoping for another chance, and I needed that bad because, I don't know, I probably wouldn't be here right now if it wasn't for that.
How do you explain what happened in that Nets game? A guy who couldn't get off the bench, a couple of days away from being waived, to coming into the game at the Garden of all places and performing the way he did. How do you explain that?
I just got in a flow. I think that's the most important thing. Is everyone is, as basketball players, if we get in the flow and we're comfortable and confident, that's when we play our game. And I was thankful that I was able to do that, and obviously miraculous timing.
What did it feel like after that Nets game, walking into the locker room? Because you just talked about the doubt, your confidence being down. Suddenly you got 25 points. Everyone's asking who Jeremy Lin is. What did it feel like after that game?
It felt good just to, I played with so much emotion that night just because there's so much emotion bottled up, so much frustration bottled up from last year. And I remember in that game, it just felt like I was breathing again, like liberated again, and just being able to play with the team and have fun. And afterwards, it was just a huge sigh of relief and just a lot of gratitude.
Did you feel like you had answered whatever questions you had in your mind, that you could belong with this team and you could play at this level and be maybe even a star?
I think that was a big step towards that in terms of building my confidence, just because that was my breakthrough game, and there's nothing better than a breakthrough game. And so after that, I was like, okay, this, I can build on this, I can keep getting better, and I just try to take that same approach into the second game.
Take me to